Today on the channel, we're back at it again with another Super 7 Ultimate member of the worst line. And today, we're taking a look at the Robot Reaper.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Super 7 Ultimate unboxing and review. And today on the channel, from the worst line, we've got the Robot Reaper. But for all your worst figures and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Big Bad Toy Store. Use the link in the description down below. And of course, if you're going to the Super 7 store, use code KYLEP to support the channel. Got to get a deal out there. And of course, Big Bad Toy Store currently, as I'm filming this, has a heck of a sale on Series 1, the worst Ultimates. You get two of those for around 50 bucks. Got to get a deal all day long. A heck of a deal on those two figures. This is a line, though, that's not for everybody, of course. A lot of people like their, Turtles, Transformers, Thundercats, Silverhawks, whatever it may be, a property they maybe grew up with, a nostalgic property. However, these are just kind of choose your own adventures, create your own adventures with the worst line here, and some interesting figures so far. I love both figures from Series 1. We unboxed the Black Falcon as well, a very, very good figure. Now we got the Robot Reaper to turn our attention to, and out of the four, first impressions, probably the weakest of the four, but we'll see what happens. I'm not a huge robot guy, but there are robot fans out there, just like there's skeleton fans out there. So you like what you like, and you don't what you don't, as they do say. But an interesting looking figure, no doubt about it, and we're going to dive in. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's see what the worst is up to here today. There he is. Love that artwork here. I love the finger point. You know me, I'm a big fan of the finger point right there. And Robot Reaper playing a lot of hits in the artwork here. Love that it kind of wraps around the package too. Just a very cool look to the packaging on this. Kind of a flame background as well. Looking very, very nice on the packaging. On the back, you got that worst logo. Not a whole lot to it. Ages 14 and up, Super 7. See you later. Goodbye. There it goes. And there it is, that kind of uniform packaging on the worst with kind of that frame out in the front. The worst packaging, of course, Robot Reaper, the robotic harbinger of death. There he is right there. He's got a big cloak going on, all the extra accessories, all the fun stuff we're used to. Nothing too fun over there. Nothing too fun over there. And then on the back, we got War and Peace. And we got that same artwork there. He's pointing to everybody. Let's see what it says about this Robotic Reaper on the back of the package here. System warning, Robot Reaper, the robotic harbinger of death, has been detected. This eerie electronic emissary of eternal extermination is hardwired for horror and programmed for pain. A cold calculating computer with a corrupted file, it cuts and pastes from the living column to the dead. Mercy does not compute. Each victim faces a binary decision, and Robot Reaper always chooses 0 for delete. Escape is impossible. Everyone will be powered down. Rebooting is not an option. Press any key to continue. So I like the back read on that. That's pretty cool there. I like stuff like that. I like a good copyright, and that was a pretty good one if you ask me. Packaging up high. See you later. Goodbye. Plastic prison time here. Lost a hand. Lost a hand right there. But there he is, the old Robotic Reaper, doing Robotic Reaper things in the package. But I'm going to take this offline. I'm going to get him all knocked out of the package, and we'll be back talking all things Robotic Reaper from the worst line. All right, Lucky Young Blue Oyster Cult, we're not going to fear the Reaper here today. We got the Robotic Reaper out of the package. Only one twist tie on him, so not too bad there. But we do got all the accessories. Let's go through those first here. We're going to go through all the hands here. That's where we're going to start. And we got two gripping hands right off the bat. You got to have gripping hands to hold these accessories, these weapons. Pretty standard in any action figure you would get. And then you got two robotic fists. And even when a robot ships are down, the fists come a-flying there. You got to have some of that every once in a while. So we do got two fists of fury for the Robotic Reaper. And then the hands that I'm really all about. I'm probably going to have to use one of these hands. It's the finger point hand from the artwork on the front of the package. Nothing scarier than the Reaper pointing at you. You know your time has been called. Your time is up. And then in that moment, you say, what did I do with my life? What is time? Where did it go? That's what you do when the Reaper points you in the face. It's the end of the road for you. So it's a tough time. It's a tough team to think about. So make sure you think about it. Make sure you make plans before your time has come. There you go. Pro tip out there. And we get some weird accessories here. We get an old school floppy disk, and it says people to delete. It's his delete list. That's what he's got going on right here. People to delete. It's on an old school floppy disk, like playing Oregon Trail back in like 2nd grade or something in school. Who knows? But people to delete list. Always a scary one there. Of course, manifestos, things like that. Back when I was in high school, before like school shootings happened all the time, there was kids at school, and one kid had a big old list of people to get rid of, and I thankfully was not on that list. So that tells you what. You got to be nice to everybody. Be nice to everybody, even the crazies out there. So there you go. The more you know, folks, the more you know. Then you get a little time clock here. Your time is up. Your time is short. The sands of time flowing through. Nice digital look on this one. I can see him holding this. Once again, he's holding this in one hand, giving you that in the other hand. It's like, oh my gosh, my time is running out. That's what's going on right there. So we have that. And then a very cool one, a very awesome throwback one. And this is one of those accessories we talk about all the time on the channel. You could use this with Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, any toy line you want. It is a Game Boy. Yes, an old school Nintendo Game Boy from back in the day. Looking very, very cool, very nostalgic. I never had a Game Boy. I never got one of those. But definitely a lot of friends had them, stuff like that. I definitely played one a time or two in my time. But very cool to get that here. That's one of those accessories that really could go with anything you really wanted it to. Now we got a couple extra weapons here. Look at this big old scythe right here. Scythe. He's ready to take the hay fields by storm here is what he's going to do. He's going to cut his way through the hay storm, or the hay fields, I should say. Maybe even like a young children of the corn. Where's Malachi when you need him? But nice wooden handle on this, big old blade on the end, and then you got 2 handles on the end, so he can just take somebody out if he needs to. Hey, guess what? Your time is up. Here's the hourglass. Goodbye. Off with your head. Do some of that going on there, but a big weapon for him. And then another one, a very smaller version here, but it also doubles as a hand. Oh, tough for me not to use this as well. Very, very cool. Love the big blade on this. Of course, plugs right in like a hand does. Here for that all day long. So some good accessories with this one here. Now we're going to dive into the heads, and much like the Black Falcon we already took a look at, really you could army build this guy. If you're a big robot fan, you want different robots in your collection, you got 3 heads, you got points of differences, different hands, different weapons, different things you can do. You can really mix and match, and I don't like all this this mixing and matching. There's too many options sometimes with these figures, and I just don't know what way to display them, and obviously it's an expensive hobby, so I don't want to buy 3 of them if I don't have to. Oh, the troubles of a collector, the troubles of a collector. But let's dive into these heads first here. Now, the head right out of the package, just a plain Jane robot head in a lot of ways. You got that silver kind of color going to it. You got a little bit of black in the head, a little gold box there with some wires going to the back, and then the big old red eyes on him. No doubt about it, it looks like a robot. There's no confusing this head for something else. A very block-like head as well on him. Then we get a second head here, a second robot head. The biggest difference on this one is a little bit different in the mouth area, and you do got the red lenses removed from the eyes. No black, no gold, a little bit open on the skull cap there. A little bit unfinished, maybe, robot head compared to this one. So it's like he's working his way to a completed mission right here. But an interesting head there. And then the third head on this one, more like a helmet. It's almost like the evolution of his head, but it's almost like a full helmet on here. I guess almost looks like... we ever see that RoboCop remake back in the day? I don't know how many years ago that came out. It almost reminds me of that RoboCop helmet. It's like, it feels like RoboCop, but it's not RoboCop. It kind of feels like Robot Reaper, but it's not Robot Reaper is what this one head looks like here. But an interesting one. I got to be honest, not all 3 of the heads, none of them really blow me away. I'd probably stick with the stock head if I had to. I don't know, it just kind of is what it is on the heads there. Now, we do got a big old, what do you call this? It's like a monk's outfit is what it reminds me of, especially with that rope belt. Oh, shout out to rope belts everywhere there. I like this rope belt, but I don't like this rope belt because I know I'm going to untie this, and I'll never be able to tie it back up. So that is always a little concerning. Part of me wants to just leave it on him, but obviously you got to take this robe off, and you got to see what all the fuss is about underneath. But a rope belt, very interesting, and it's kind of the dynamic of this character, you could say, in some ways, that he's got a very interesting kind of jacket robe on, and then you got a rope belt on top of that. It's like, here's technology, but then here's old school ways of doing things. And we got nice tears in this robe all over, some rips. It's a little bit shoddy, I guess we would say. And then it's got Velcro down the back, so everything is going to be removable on him. But maybe it depends how you like to display this guy. Maybe some people want him just as a robot and not as kind of a robot monk. Is that what we're going to call him, a robot monk? We're going to pull this all off here, hopefully without having to take the hands off. There it is. Robe goes off, rope off to the side, and you get a straight-up robot going on here. Very interesting. And I talked about it with Black Falcon. People like skeletons, people like robots. So I can see a lot of people displaying this without the robe on, just as a straight-up robot, almost feeling like something out of the Terminator franchise, maybe. Silver and black attack throughout, a little bit of gold here and there. Some guts that are looking really interesting with some wires inside. Very interesting look on him in the middle section here. But very interesting robot-looking figure. Definitely a totally different dynamic. I mean, it feels almost like a totally different figure once you take that robe off. Gives him a whole different kind of look and attitude, you could say. So really, you could make the argument a 2-in-1, 3-in-1 figure at the end of the day here. But of course, going through articulation, head removable, back and forth, up and down, all the way around. Plenty of movement on the head here, of course, you can imagine. Arms go all the way around. You get the side, oh, you get a bicep cut. How about that? A little bicep cut action. Elbow up and down, side to side. Hands removable, back forth, side to side. Waist articulation, got that hula hoop right there. Big old robot splits? Not really. And he is a robot, so he shouldn't be doing huge splits. We do get the legs up and down all around. Single jointed knees, side to side, a little bit at the knees as well. Ankles, side to side, up and down. So your usual Super 7 articulation on this bad boy right here. Does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% at ringside collectibles. Make sure you get the Mattel stand, as I always do say. And what do you know? He fits perfectly on that stand. An interesting figure, though. And I think my first impressions are usually how things kind of stick. And out of my impressions of the 4 worst figures so far, he is probably the worst of the bunch. I'm just not a huge robot guy. Not as many bells and whistles. And like I always say, you like what you like, you don't what you don't. It's an okay figure. Is it a great figure? Maybe not for me, but it really comes down to personal preference, and not everything is going to be for everybody, really, at the end of the day, as we do know. But, of course, we had Series 1 with Batula, a very good figure. Probably still my favorite is this Captain Dead Star. Something about this Skull Pirate looks really awesome. Of course, these two Series 1, $50 on Big Bad Toy Store right now for both those. A heck of a deal. And then the star of Series 2 for me is the Skeleton Black Falcon. Really enjoy this figure a lot. Really looking at possibly buying multiples of these in my collection. It's that good of a figure here. But Robot Reaper, it kind of is what it is. There's not a lot of, I don't want to say meat on the bone, but I guess not a lot of surprises. That's what I'm looking for. There's not a lot of surprises in this one. What you see is really what you get. Where this guy, a few surprises here and there. Same thing with these. This one, I mean, you have robe on, robe off, different heads. Really, that's the end of the game there. But let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. How would you rank these four? For me, I'm going to go Captain Dead Star, Black Falcon, Batula, the Robot. That's how I'd go if I had to rank these four. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the worst line in the comments down below. And of course, while you're here, don't forget to hit the old thumbs up. Like this video. Always helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and the other YouTube channel. 2 YouTube channels going on right now. Would love to have you guys subscribe. Check out those videos. And of course, don't forget about the Patreon for early access to videos like this. Bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, pizza reviews, dog stuff, you name it. All going on over there at the old Patreon channel. And Patreon, the best way to support this very YouTube channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X. _Kyle_Peterson on Threads. And on Instagram. So for the worst, I'm the Kyle. See you guys all real soon.